98.7 FM, Arizona's sports station. Bickley Blast.
The NBA playoffs are taking shape. Players are starting to chirp. Patrick Beverley and Kyrie Irving have already made early declarations. And unless the Suns receive a huge gift from the NBA gods, the Clippers will likely be their first-round opponent. Now, that's not as brutal as Brooklyn v. Boston or Golden State v. Denver, but it's a tough assignment and clearly more than just a speed bump. And that's because the Clippers don't fear the Suns. They're stupid like that. It's because the Clippers feel the return of Paul George and Norman Powell make them far more dangerous than your ordinary number 8 seed. It's because the Clippers are a team loaded with wing players like George and Powell, Marcus Morris, Terrence Mann, Nicholas Batum, Amir Coffey, just to name a few. It's a team filled with versatile defenders and a team that can play big or small. It would also mean a rematch of last year's Western Conference Finals, a series that got a little dicey at times, and a series that ultimately broke Pat Bev's brain. On paper, it's kind of a holy handful for a Suns team heavily favored to win their first NBA championship. It's also an opportunity to show the rest of the NBA and the world just how serious they are.
But the Clippers, you're right. The trade that they made at the deadline to get Powell and Robert Covington has paid dividends. Powell's back. He was really good last night. They don't have Patrick Beverley, so you're not worrying about that. If they're indeed the first-round opponent for the Suns, and that's the way it feels right now.
Kind of does.
You know, we're still a few days away from that game, but it feels like the Suns will be playing the Clippers.
It would be quite a gift if it was anything else, because that would mean either San Antonio or New Orleans won tonight and then went to Los Angeles and beat the Clippers on Friday. Mm-hmm. It's conceivable. You never know, but it feels like this is going to be the draw.
Certainly feels that way.
And it's going to look great on the marquee, Vinny, because it's Phoenix, the best team in the NBA, and it's Los Angeles.
Yeah, and you saw the Suns, part of their run to the finals was disposing of both L.A. franchises. Mm-hmm. Now, one of them's not participating this year. Sorry to hear that, Lakers. But yeah, things do get ratcheted up in this sports market when there's a playoff game against L.A. We've seen it recently, Diamondbacks and Dodgers in 2017. We saw it very recently with the Cardinals and the Rams. Anytime the Cardinals play a playoff game, it's big, but it felt different because it was an L.A. team and it was a division opponent. Didn't go well, but you're right. And you're right about the factor, too, that the Clippers are not going to come in here and be quaking in their boots at the Suns despite all of their success this season. They are a team that still has an edge to it. Marcus Morris, I think, is kind of that Pat Bev role now.
Yeah.
Not to the same extreme. I think he's certainly more subtle about the role that he plays than Patrick Beverley is. Yep. But who isn't more subtle about playing that role than Patrick Beverley?
I would have much preferred a matchup against Minnesota because they're soft. They're a bunch of fake tough guys. Pat Beverley is not soft, but everybody else around him, D'Lo, Karl Anthony Towns, they're just, no.
Yeah, but I've said this before. I'll continue to say this throughout the playoffs, regardless of who the opponent is. This playoff run that the Suns are about to embark on is about them. Mm-hmm. It's about playing their game. Mm-hmm. And in some cases, it's about getting healthy.